You feel like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. You do that 5 minutes and you get a huge dopamine kick.
Welcome everybody to the episode number 15 of the Lord of Bar podcast, hosted by Lord of Bars.
Of course.
Today is a special episode because today we have our official first guest is Steven, and please introduce yourself to the people that are listening to us and watching to us.
Yeah, thank you. So it's an honor to be here. My name is Steven. I'm 53 years old. I'm a life coach and I'm a breathwork coach. And yes, actually, I know you guys from the training. So we trained together for many years already. I have to say you could be my sons.
Yeah, we can actually, maybe.
But I appreciate, training with you and giving me the push I need, for the training.
Okay.
Thanks for welcoming me.
Perfect. So it's really a pleasure for us to have you here and to share actually your experience with our public, so they can also take inspiration from someone with more experience, because sometimes people look at us and we're 20 and they think, you have no experience, you cannot teach stuff. So today we're going to actually show to the people that you can learn from everyone. As they can learn from us, we can learn from them, and they can learn from you as we can learn from you. So let's go to the first question. What have you done in your life? What's your profession? Tell a little bit about your stories.
Oh, so I need to keep it short.
It's going to be difficult.
Actually, I studied in Berlin and then I went to Tel Aviv. I lived in Tel Aviv for 10 years.
Oh.
And I work in management since, 25, 27 years.
Okay.
So I'm in Switzerland since 15 years. And I have 2 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except of us. All the
We have 4 kids, that's it.
Now I have 4, yes. Yeah, and now I'm in the transition phase of, phasing out in my current job in management and becoming a life coach. And I'm already a certified breath coach. So I offer workshops and I have private clients for coaching. Yes.
You are also a photographer, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, I'm in photography. It's one of my biggest hobbies. It's photography and then actually it's yoga. I do yoga and I think a very, very good combination with calisthenics.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's for true. That's two type of discipline that really can do it. One help the other one,
Actually, if you look at Saturno, for example, he's quite famous in calisthenics. He's a yogi, right? And
I know the guy. I mean.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that yoga is not only flexibility and doing asanas. It's also a lot of strength training. If you really do it hard, you can really go hard with yoga. Check Dylan Werner. Google Dylan Werner, then you can see what men's yoga means.
Okay, nice.
And so there are many elements in very, let's say, physical yoga, which are very similar to calisthenics. Okay. And for me, it's like calisthenics is building the strength and also, to be honest, to release the dopamine. And that's yoga is rather, that being focused, getting the flexibility. And also, calming down, being on the mat, being in the now, and not, having that loud pumping music, which we have outside, right?
That's also true.
That's really nice combination because you also, as you said, that you do breath work,
Yes.
And as I know, in yoga, you actually need to control your breath, and it's really a lot of concentration. And does it actually help you? This breath control that you have about yourself during your skill, your performance, does it actually help?
It helps me a lot because, let's be honest. When you're at that place and you are with 10, 15 people and you train together, there's a lot of many things going on. And sometimes I catch myself being stressed a little bit, honestly, because I see you guys doing crazy stuff and, yes, exactly. And I, of course, try, the ego kicks in. And then, of course, I say, look, I also want to do these things. And then I need to admit I can't, right? I can do crazy stuff for my age, but I cannot compete with you. So breath work then really helps me. Then, sometimes I catch myself, I go aside. I take 3 deep breaths. I remember who I am. I remember that I don't need to compete. It's not about competition. At least not, 53 against 20 years old, right? It's actually the competition against myself. So I need to remind myself that's where breathwork helps me.
Yeah, I think most people doesn't even think about the breathing. You know, sometimes people get over their emotions, like you say, maybe your ego, maybe you are angry for something that happened. That can be anything,
Exactly.
really, not just some big thing, even the smallest thing that can make you angry. Now I'm also starting to do this breathe thing. You know, I breathe, I realize who I am and what can actually do. Instead of thinking what I can't control and being stressed out about that, I'm thinking, okay, but I can do this one. And I take this big breath and I realize, okay, I'm actually angry, but I can control it.
That's the point. You mentioned a very, very important point. When you catch yourself being emotional about something, you're angry or you feel pissed, like, you know, something happened. You know, you need to imagine that your thoughts are like a river. And you have the choice as a human being, you can jump into that river of emotions and get crashed against the stones, right? The river will take you away and you get smashed. Or you can decide to step out of that river and just observe your thoughts. You can observe yourself. Okay, I'm angry right now, but you don't need to jump into it. You can stand, observe it, and say, okay, I'm angry right now, but that's not me, right? I'm not my emotions. So that helps a lot. That helps a lot, yeah. And breath, of course, it can help. And by the way, breath work is not only to calm yourself down, it can also give you the kick in the morning. There's a so-called breath of fire, which is a totally different breathing technique. And if you feel like in the morning, especially when you, let's say you have a tough training session, and you feel like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, you do the breath of fire, 5 minutes, and you get a huge dopamine kick, and then you can start to exercise.
You know, I heard about the technique because once I was actually searching for how to increase dopamine and stuff like that, like everyone does probably. And I heard about this 30-second technique with breath, deep breath, you know, technique. Of course, I didn't went actually deep into it, and I combine it with cold shower. So my cold shower was like, for example, 5 minutes. In these 5 minutes, I was taking 30 seconds to do like 30 deep breath. So more than 30 seconds actually, but 30 deep breath. And I really noticed that actually after, also if you're stressed, if you're upset, after this 30 deep breath, you actually feel better and happier. Is that just placebo effect, or it's actually an explanation to this?
No, it's an explanation to it, because I also do meditation for many years, and my observation is that breath work is much more intense than the meditation, because meditation needs to go through your prefrontal cortex in order to get to your subconscious mind. And breath work can cut that out. Breath work can neutralize the prefrontal cortex and go directly into your subconscious mind. And that's why you have a very quick effect, whatever you are looking for, and you can change your chemistry and your biology, actually, and your blood biology within minutes. You can make your whole body, with breathing techniques, you can make your body alkaline. Typically, we are more acid, we have acid blood. You can make that alkaline within 5 minutes just through breathing. And that, for example, just to give you a hint, if you have like inflammations from training, if you have inflammations in your elbows typically, or in your wrists or wherever, that's let's say if you have an acid blood, you will increase that inflammation. It will make it worse. When you breathe in the morning, certain special breathing techniques, you can make your blood within 3 to 5 minutes alkaline, and an alkaline blood will support your body in healing inflammations. Right, so
Mirand could be the opposite, you know, could do the opposite way, because it's actually all inflammation and maybe have some good part. So you can do the reverse technique to actually get everything, you know, and then maybe have a better performance.
Yeah, but I have to try this, because actually we have a lot of pain. I just came out by an injury and stuff, so I think also this can help.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind it, so it's no hocus pocus. There's really science behind it, and proven things that happen in your mind, in your body, chemically and biology.
So I have also another question that is a little bit more personal, so you can feel free to actually don't answer to this question, don't feel forced to it. And if you want to share with us your biggest success in your life that you're proud of, and could be also something small that for you it's actually really, it's not about 1 million, 2 million, or these things working for that. Something that for you it's really meaningful. And also the biggest regret that you have about your life. So maybe if you go back in time, also if everything that you have done brought you here, but something that with your mind of today you wouldn't have done in the past. So please, if you want to share with us.
Interesting question. About the things I enjoy the most, I don't need to think twice. It's my kids. That's my biggest achievements.
Okay.
The 2 kids, point, right? It's not about the money. It's not about the cars and the boat and all this stuff. That's bullshit, right? I have 2 wonderful kids, and they are my joy, right? When it comes to failure, honestly, if I would regret my failures, I wouldn't be here where I sit right now. If I wouldn't have made failures and mistakes, I would not have quit my job. I would not have become a life coach. I would not have become a breath coach. Actually, I need to be grateful for every mistake I made, because it brought me exactly where I am right now, right? There's maybe one thing, and that's really related to calisthenics, of course, and to my physical well-being and emotional well-being. It's that I had a phase like when I was, end of the 30s, beginning of the 40s, right? In that age, I really let myself go. I have to say. I felt like, now I'm getting old, I can settle, I have 2 kids, I bought a house. And then you start to settle down, and I was always active in sports my whole life. And I stopped doing sports, and I became overweight. And I really felt bad. I really started to feel unpleasant in my body, and that really is one regret I have, that I had that phase of roughly 10 years where I really didn't exercise. Yes, and I have to admit, one day, after Christmas and New Year, I blow off my pants. They just cracked. I was really so overweight that my pants cracked.
That much?
That much. I have to admit that. And it was just like a wake-up call. It was like a slap in my face. And then that day, I bought a TRX. I went to that place where we always meet, right? The street workout. And I started my first, I have to admit, I did 1 pull-up.
Okay.
1 pull-up. And I started to exercise with the TRX for 1 year, but that really brought me back to shape.
Yeah. That's cool to hear, actually, both of the things you said, because if you didn't blow up your jeans, we didn't met.
Exactly.
So this is really cool.
Yes. Everything happens for a reason, not forget.
And also the fact about your child, because me and Khalil every day talk about this topic. We are young, we know, but we always try to. I'm like the guy, I don't want to have children, do stuff. I want to dedicate my life to myself. At the moment, this is my thought, but I always say that maybe it can change. I would like to see a little Mirand and stuff. But we always say that at the end, maybe the family, having a child, having our half part, or wife and whatever, we always say, is this really that much important? Why we always think about that at the end of the day? So the fact that you say that actually your children brought you joy, this now helped me to realize even more how much this thing can be, let's say, even a life changer.
Because the entire life, you had 1,000 amazing experience. You are reborn after an injury, after burnout, whatever it is, and still your biggest joy is actually your children. That's really admirable. And
you said like the first thing that came into your mind. You don't have even to immediately. That's really nice.
Yeah, look, I think that's an important topic you're raising right now, because what I see, especially with my own kids and with guys in your age and even in my age, still, you have that impression like, especially when you are young, you have that impression like, you until a certain age, you have to reach something. You need to have a 6-pack when you're 16, and when you're 20, you need to drive a fancy sports car, and when you are 30, you need to be a millionaire. I see that all over the place. The internet is full of that crap. You see people, claiming they made millions when they are 26 years old, and most of it is bullshit, I have to say, and I really, that would be an advice from me with my experience to you.